Good afternoon, ladies and gents, and it's another church, Parish Church of St Stephen Walbrook. And we are going to go and see this masterpiece now, and it is described as a masterpiece for a good reason. The mosaic. Christopher Wren constructed this church. It's all in Latin, that, but the Christopher Wren bit I was able to get. Oh, right, cheers. Hiya. Good afternoon. Is it okay to take photographs?
You may.
Oh, thanks very much. And where can I leave a
Put any donations?
I was just about to ask that. Oh, thanks very much.
We have leaflets with information about the church.
I've got all that on my phone.
Oh, right.
Thanks very much.
And there are postcards and stuff about what happens during the week.
Brilliant.
Good.
Thanks very much.
Yes.
Thanks.
Wander around.
Thank you. There we are. A model. I will save the best parts till last, which is the dome and the altar. This shows the damage done in the wall, look. So the restoration is actually quite spectacular. This is weighted, it's a font cover, and that will be drawn up when they wish to baptise anyone. Absolute masterpiece in itself. The great organ. Well, I must say this thing copes very well with light, which it didn't before. Church was repaired and restored AD 1850. Reverend George Crowley. Sorry about that, pressed the wrong button. Church wardens.
Very nicely lit by sunlight at the moment. This is a sword rest. The Lord Mayor of the City of London would come on a Sunday all dressed. He's only a Lord Mayor for 1 year.
Right.
So he'd turn up on a Sunday in all his robes, with his sword bearer and his mace bearer. And that's where the sword would be put.
Oh, right. Well, thanks very much. Thank you for that information. Thank you. I'll catch up now. It's nice when you get a history lesson like that. So I didn't know that, of course. I am saving the most spectacular piece till last, so don't worry, guys and girls. The gift.
Because they apparently they were the other side of Cannon Street, so it was low. And I said, well, next time you come to try the Mithraic as well. But he was really, it was lovely seeing his amazement at what he'd come in.
Wow. That is beautiful, that's so impressive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at that.
No. Half as I was coming, that one. And that's just cut out of the rock, isn't it? It's just the... Does it go on inside? Is there a whole church?
Organ. There's quite a lot of memorials up on the wall. Charles Clark, appointed rector. That's very impressive, isn't it? And just get you to that bit because I am saving the best bit till last, which is the very impressive dome. Erected to the memory of Samuel Moyer. So go to the memory of the family of the Champs, late of this parish, who lie buried in this church. Catherine, 7th July 1726, age 40. Peter, January the 10th, 1732, age 76. Then you got Peter, who was a child, 1737. Peter, another Peter. It wasn't a child. Anyway, I'll let you read it for yourselves. Here we are. That's very impressive. I won't lift you up too high because you're going to see the dome we're trying to save till last. Oh, who have we got here? George Alfred Crowley, eldest son of the Reverend George Crowley, eldest director of this parish, lieutenant in the 26th Regiment of Bengal Light Infantry, who after gallantly doing his duty in the victorious campaign of Kabul, AD 1842, fell gloriously by a cannon shot in the Battle of Ferozeshah in the assault on the entrenched camp of the Sikhs, December the 21st, 1843 or 5. at the age of 1845, at the age of 23 years. All of that was mortal, rests in the burial ground of Ferozepur. In testimony of honour and esteem, this memorial has been erected by the officers of his regiment. Here we are. There's plenty of memorials around. What a lovely piano, look. That's nice. I was tempted to lift the lid up on a piano, but I try not to because people might think you're taking the wee-wee. And I shouldn't like to be viewed as a libertine. Johannes Lilburn, which is John Lilburn. The whole thing is in Latin. Isabella. I normally save the altar till last, but the most impressive thing in this church is the dome, so I shall save that till last. Marriott. The carved wooden work on that, that's beautiful, isn't it? I don't know a great deal about this church at the moment, I'm afraid. Its historical details, other than that there was one here before the fire. This one was rebuilt by Wren, then damaged in the Second World War, and in turn was restored. 1710. Is the date on this thing. Now that's what you call an impressive radiator cover. Carving on that's very impressive. The Walbrook, I believe, is one of London's lost rivers. There's many of the little streams and tributaries that did run through London years ago, including the Fleet, and they covered that over because it became an open sewer, I'm afraid. I'm used to be very much a technophobe, but believe it or not, I'm actually starting to enjoy technology now and learning how to use it. It is fairly easy to use now. And the zoom in I don't even have to do with the scroll button. And the amazing thing with this phone is, if I'm holding the phone, I don't have to put my hand up to take photos, or if the phone's in my pocket and I want to take a picture of something, which I sometimes do, as you know, if I can't actively get a phone out. This has got something called a magic pen with it, which has got a little clicker on the side. You click that and you can take photographs. Reverend George Crowley. Oh, that's the father of the son over there, who's died in India. Mr. George Street. Percival Gilbourne. And other than that, I can't tell you anything else what it says because it's in Latin. And they've even Latinised his name. Percival Gilbourne. But they couldn't Latinise the surname, so that's how you go by that. So many of these are in Latin. Just the detail in here is just spectacular. Making sure I don't walk into anything.
Okay, see you soon.
Catch up soon.
Yes.
Let's look at the detail on that. That is stunning. Beautiful, of course. I find myself saying that more and more lately. Oh, I didn't notice this over here. What do we have? This is the telephone. Mansion House 900, found by Chad Varah in Richter's study, ready to become the world's first hotline for suicidal and despairing people on the 2nd of November 1953. It is the first of many thousands of emergency telephones throughout the world in central London. In central London, the Samaritans who moved to Soho in 1987 attend many lines on 439 2224. Bless him, look. I'm going to highlight this man. Because people like this do save lives, believe it. Well, you all know, don't you? They save lives, and they do everything they can to save lives. So if I do suffer from depression myself, so to any of my friends or followers or anyone, if you're suffering from depression, please just give someone like this a call, or if you have anyone near you, just open up and talk. And you'll be surprised what will happen. I speak from experience there, really speak from experience. I don't go into my personal life, but where I was 1 year ago to where I am now, two completely different worlds apart. See, I just love all the carvings on these things, look. Such pretties. was up on the wall, Charles Clark. Oh, I did that one, didn't I? Came down this way. Right, now, to show you, oh no, didn't see that, carved by Thomas Colley, 1887, bomb damaged in 1941, and restored by Andrew Varah in 1990. Oh, that's brilliant, I'm glad I noticed that. Little pieces of the church's history, as you see. Now, the piece de resistance. I know the dome that we saw in St Mary Hill was impressive, but this is just breathtaking as well. You can tell that Wren's had his hands on this. He liked domes, Christopher Wren. The Renaissance period and classical area where many of these educated men went to on the grand expedition to places like Rome and Italy, and they studied the architecture there. A lot of it is very Romanesque. Stunning. I shall have to check the time in a minute because I know this church closes at 3:30, and I don't like to keep people over time because then church wardens and such like are really nice people, and you don't want to. They're normally very obliging. I've done that by mistake before. Stayed 25 minutes over the time, and bless them, they didn't say a word to me. What do you think of the quality of the videos on this phone, guys and girls? Let me know if you can. Oh, you don't really have to let me know, but I'll go on then. I couldn't afford one of these to buy it outright, so I got a contract. I don't much like contracts as a rule, but needs must. Sometimes, well, not needs must, but I wanted the phone, and here we are. Can you imagine how long this must have taken to carve all this? Oops. Let's walk a bit further back because there's so much detail on this pulpit. And I've been good today. I've not knocked anything over, not once. That's good going for me. Some of the most stunning churches, of course, are in London, some of the bigger cities, but some of the little country churches are lovely as well. I pretty much like all kinds of churches. Anything that's got Sir Christopher Wren's name to it, well, you got me. This will be carvings of that man and that woman. Buried here. Ah, look at the top. This is what I was saying before. See, they show skeletons. I mean, that looks really morbid to us, doesn't it? But it's a reminder to the living to live and to preferably be nice while doing it, because you're going to end up like this soon enough, as they said, and you may be judged. That was the message. Memento Mori. Do you know, the funny thing is, when I left school, age 15, due to my own stupidity, I could barely read and write. I could read and write, but not very well at all. And as for anything like this, well, I would have just died of shame and got into my little shell, but that's beautiful, isn't it? That'll make a nice screenshot. I'm just going to check my time quickly. At 3:10, we've still got some time left. I'll do the outside bit of the churchyard and the church outside possibly as a separate one, because whenever I go over 35 minutes it mutes me on Facebook. Probably sick of the sound of my voice, I should imagine, but not everyone on Facebook likes to watch the YouTubes, and not everyone's got a YouTube account. Some people don't like YouTube, so I like trying to get the best of both worlds. I'm going to pause you a minute to show you the extent of the restoration. Everything that we've just been looking at. Look. So when people say, oh, they couldn't do it like that nowadays, that's not necessarily true. Because a lot of London churches were damaged in the IRA bombs, and to look at them, you wouldn't know. So let's not outdo the craftsmen and artisans and take their credit away from them, because there aren't as many artisans and craftsmen, of course, as there were, but the ones that are still around are very skilled men and women. I wonder what's in there. Oh, it's a private area. Oh dear. So I didn't see the sticker on the door. That's the trouble when you're looking at the camera, you don't see everything else as well. Ah, look, there's the coats of arms of these families up here. Bottle bins being emptied. So this is the sword stone where the Lord Mayor of London will come in with his ushers, as that lady kindly told us, and place the swords and the mace. They come in with his bearers, pardon me. Right, and we've managed to keep this one fairly reasonably short. It's not a massively big church, but obviously you can see there's quite a hell of a lot to see. Ah, that's better. I like to get screenshots. Makes it a bit clearer when you have it on #1 zoom. I don't know why, but it does. Right everyone, I'm going to pause this because I'll be able to catch the outside and get it all in one, I should think. Hopefully. Right, hope you all enjoyed this, and I shall see you on the outside because I want to pop my donation in now. So see you all in a minute. There we are, we've done the inside of the church now. Enjoyed that tour. Beautiful church, although anything with Sir Christopher Wren's name attached to it just basically reeks quality. Look at this beautiful old handmade glass. Old and well, probably new and handmade glass, on post-war handmade glass, because this church received a direct hit for its dome, so all its original glass would have, trust me, would have been blown out. But they still hand make the glass even to this day if you need it, because windows still get damaged and broken. Believe it or not, sometimes birds career into them and damage them. That's not that common though, but it does happen and creates a very nasty spectacle when it does. And you've got the old church gates. It's a nice little churchyard, church garden. Another one of London's little church gardens. Very nice. I love these little tucked away places. So you get the... Very nice. Ah, that's it. It's the dome. Well, I must say the restoration on that is absolutely fantastic. This probably more than likely would have been the vicarage. I will do a separate little piece on that in a minute because it's a lovely little house. There's some gravestones here, or tombstones, but you're not going to see anything on that. There's a person's coat of arms there. A few had set into the floor. Just thought they were paving stones, that's my poor eyesight. Joseph. H-I-L something. But yeah, that's about as much as you're going to get on that one. Some others here. Elsie Ann Palumbo, 15th December 1894 to 1995. Some road on there. Chad Varah, 2007. Stephen Walbrook. And a little fountain when it does go. So right, guys and girls, I hope you enjoyed this one. I will keep it at that because I should be able to download it onto Facebook then without it muting. Take care all and see you all soon. If you did enjoy, please give it a like and a share. Thanks everyone.